Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Trashy Treasures. Today I'm going to show you how I make these super cute little mini books. They're awesome to go in a journal pocket. They're good for Happy Mail, whatever. They're a good scrap buster too. You don't need anything fancy. So I'm going to show you two methods. Let's see. This first method, I did bind it with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So on the inside, it's bound with twine, I think it is. Yep, and then, which makes a cute little book. I did use some tea-dyed paper in these. Let's see, that's tea-dyed. Yep. This one I dyed some papers pink. And then the other method I'm going to show you, which is even easier, is just with a staple. There's a 1 and 2 staple method. If you're kind of unfamiliar with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is a method for binding journals, which this is called a signature, which just means a grouping of papers. This would be a good project to practice binding because you're only using a few pages instead of if you had them all bound, which I've done this before. Had a bunch of my favorite pages bound and I was trying to, I guess what this is called is sewing into my journal. Well, it was a fail. So that whole set of papers is down the tubes with a bunch of holes in them. So I feel like this is a really good way to practice doing that stitching and binding a journal. So anyways, what you need for this, you can use scrap paper. I'm gonna show you a few different things that work. If you've heard of Project Life cards, this is what I'm using on a bunch of them. They're a 4x6 size and they're perfect once they're folded. So you don't have to have these, but they're just, you might as well because they're already cut for the right size or a size. These can be made any size you want. You can also use 4x6, I think that's what this size is, just from, a flip book of cardstock. Use some of these. You can take, like I did earlier, I just took a 12x12 pad of paper and I took this big 12x12 sheet out, which I did make this one with. And you can just cut it to the size you want. You can make a journal just, or a little notebook with this, any size. So I've got this teeny tiny one, and then this one's a little bigger. These are all the Project Life size. You can put any papers you want in them. This one's cute. It's got some line paper, some book page, ledger, and they're super cute, just tucked in a journal. I got some, yeah. Okay. So then you need the paper that you're gonna put inside the book. Any papers work. I've got a stack of dyed paper here, of different colors and tea. Yeah, so I use that. I found a bunch of these at an estate sale, just plain white paper pads, which work perfectly. Taking a few and folding them. Then for binding it with thread or string or twine, you'll need something that pokes holes. So I call this a pokey tool, and I got a set of 2. Let me see if I can find my other one. I got this set at the Dollar Tree. Well, the $1.25 tree nowadays. Scissors for trimming. I do use my cutting board because I can't cut straight, so I use that. Some twine, or you can use, I think this is twine, or you can also use what is it called, embroidery thread, yarn. I use a corner rounder, and I use a little bit of Distress Oxide for the edges, and I do the papers a little bit. This is a bad example because I didn't do that one, but this one I think I did. So I just did a couple pages on that one. All right, so I'll show you how I do the binding of it first, just to get that one out of the way. And I first pick out, I'm getting ahead of myself. what cover I'm gonna use. Can't think. I think I will do, I had one in mind. I know I saw strawberries in here because strawberries are like my everything. I'm gonna do the strawberry one. So strawberry would probably either tea dye or pink. Oh, this is a good color. All right, I'm gonna do this color. So if you're a person that needs measurements, I'm not your girl. I don't measure. I eyeball everything. So you can just watch how I do my eyeballing, and if it's for you, cool. If not, it's not. But so I take this and I see about how much I'm gonna need, but I always go back just about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, because once they're folded in here, they seem to pop out. So it's easier to see as I do it, but and then I just kind of take that and see that's too big, so I'll go back just a little bit. Probably, let's see how that is. I basically am just fitting it in here to see. That could work. Might be a little shallow, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. You can always trim it down, so let's see here. My paper cutter's probably not gonna like all these pages right here, but I can't see either with this sun. All right, let's see. It's probably not, oh, it did cut through it all. Okay, so then I just see, yeah, I'm gonna trim this though, because it's gonna be too, it's gonna have too much of the cover sticking out. Whoops, wrong thing. So I'm just gonna trim this a hair. And then I'll just come back and re-round the edges. No big deal. Okay. And then now let's see if it fits. All right, that's better. Okay, I like it, the pages be just close to the edge. And then how I've been measuring for this to see how much height I need on it. Stick it in there. I've been taking my pokey tool, making a dot, and then I just cut right below that dot. It's very fine science. It seems to work pretty good. All right, let's see how it went. Oh yeah, see? All right, and then my next step is I corner round these pages. So I try to do them all at once because I'm lazy, but you don't have to use a corner rounder. You can leave them blunt and square. I just like them rounded for this project. All right, let's see. Perfect. Okay, so then I fold it on the seam, make sure they're in there, okay? So now I'm gonna put string through it. I have a threaded needle because I knew I would struggle threading the needle on camera, so I'm like, let's prepare before. So I'm using a fat needle that you would use with thread. I don't know what the exact name is, but it's got a big eyelet. Not eyelet. So for the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, it's making 3 holes. I go one at the top, one in the middle. Again, I don't measure any of this. And then one at the bottom. I'm gonna stab myself, hopefully not. It's not a lot to hold on to with these little thin pages. Okay, you take your needle and you go in the middle. And you just, oops, almost came unthreaded. Come back through the top. If I can find the hole there. All right, so you go through the middle, come back through the top. Now go down to the bottom. Leaving that tail in the middle because you're gonna tie off with that. now you're finishing off. I'm gonna just tighten this a little bit. Coming back through the middle, but you don't want to splice this thread, so you're gonna go right, same hole but next to it. Okay, but you need it under here, and then you're just tying the knot. You're tightening up. I usually tie 2 knots. So this is the more time consuming one, even though it's really not that bad. And then just leave a little bit. You could leave a tail and add some dangles. Then I come back to out here to fix, the paper kind of puckers out a little bit, but you can just push it back down. So then you got your little mini book. How cute. It's got a little page rip, but that's okay. All right. So then, the other method, let me grab another selection here. Let's do this one. Actually, maybe I'll do a 4x6. Yeah. So I'm just gonna take this 4x6, fold it in half. That's all right. I'll round it a little bit. I got this 3-hole rounder. It's like 3 different sizes on Amazon for like $6.99 or $7.99 a while ago, a couple years ago. I'm sure they still have it, but it's awesome. All right, so for this one, I think I'm gonna do, we're gonna staple this one, which is kind of self-explanatory, or it should be, but I'll just show you anyway, just in case. I am not a pro at my staple placement at all. All right, so let's see. I just kind of measure. Let's see. See how that's gonna go. I always leave a little extra paper because I can, when I'm doing this eyeballing, because I can always cut it down. And if I end up making it too, what's the word, too small, then I just use it for another smaller one. I don't toss it or anything. All right, let's see. Forgot to measure this. I was eyeballing. Okay. Try to find my pokey tool. Put my mark there. Perfect. Okay, so then I just round these out. If you're rounding them together, just make sure your pages line up, otherwise it kind of gives it a not good look. Like that one. I totally missed that one. There we go. Well, it is, I don't even know, 90 something here in Michigan. I guess we're supposed to get a bunch of rain tomorrow. Oh, Lordy, I did mow my lawn today because of how hot, how rainy it's gonna be. I think maybe the rest of the week, I gotta look. But it's been brutal, humid. Okay, so you can at this point, it's easier to do it now if you wanted to distress the edges a little bit. I go back and forth, I don't always do the edges, but I find it easier to do it now before I get it in the journal, or cover, I guess, whatever. You could do seasonal ones, little mini notepads for your journals. I think they're just, I just am addicted to making them. They're so cute. All right, and then, so this is what I do. I line up the pages on the inside. I flip it over. Make sure my pages are still lined up. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but, so then I take my stapler. I hope this stapler, okay, barely. Ooh, I don't know if this, see, this is the issue if the paper's too big. I'm glad I'm doing this on camera because I don't have a long stapler. but I'm gonna do it anyway because it just barely. I do one on, let's see how it's not in the center. My goal is to have it on the center of the spine, but it's okay, it still works. So I do that part of the staple on the outside because it looks nicer, and then have that on the inside. It's not perfect. I completely forgot about how this larger I do with these little minis, the less likely I can use a stapler. So I was like an eighth, I don't know, what do you think? Whatever, an eighth inch or less, 16th off, but it's still fine. And then I usually just ink the cover. And you could get into decorating them. You could add embellishments. You got little mini pockets if you want to get real crazy. Stamping. But I just think they're cute. So there's another fun little project, you guys. I hope you enjoy it and stick around. Follow me on this junk journal journey. That's a mouthful. All right, well, I will see you again, like hypothetically. And thanks for stopping in. All right, bye.